Now we're going to do the third Tan Tui road. And this one introduces a simultaneous uppercut action and downward smother action, right? So what you have there is a compressive action between the two, and also simultaneously striking and hitting with the two hands. Where in number 2 you did it with a kick and a punch. Here you're doing it smother, strike up at the same time. Now we're going to start the third road of Tan Tui, in which you have two opponents, right, front and back. In the first two roads, real quick, you've gotten basically all the elements of the whole set. The first road represents yang, even an odd number, right? And that's the stretching, the yoke punch. The second road represents back and forth action, like a split trigram or a split line. That's yin, okay? Stationary, powerful in this sense, but not outward reaching. So everything you're going to see in the rest of the set is mixtures of the horse stance punch and the yoke punch from the bow. So number 3, you'll see that. All right? So we start once again in our salutation. And you're going to find you know a lot of this already, because you start with the yoke punch. All right? From there, you shift back, and it's like you're carrying this punch with you, and you smother. That's called a smother when you're going downward, and you hit upward. Now notice it can be here or here. Generally you try to be just off the thigh, but it depends on how much lean you've got. So from here the uppercut goes right to the jaw. You then come up and back knuckle vertically as you cock your punch just for a moment, passing through your chest, and strike. Hey, look, it's just like you're back in number 1 again. And just like number 1, you block. Number 1, you kick. Like number 1, you yoke punch, and now it changes. Oh, someone behind me. Smother the punch, uppercut. Come up, strike, punch, yoke punch, low action, kick, and punch. From here, yoke punch, uppercut, strike, back knuckle, which continues through into the yoke punch, hook, kick, punch, yoke punch. Notice my hand drop, smother, uppercut, anywhere from vertical to about 45. Hit, yoke punch, coming down, kick, and salute. Let's try it again with less emphasis on the details, more on the rhythm, some of the speed. All right? Step out, yoke punch, smother, uppercut, strike, back knuckle, which continues through into the yoke punch, hook, same as before, kick, yoke punch. Someone behind you. Smother, up, swing, protect yourself from the back. See, now you're switching back to the first person again. Punch, hooking action, kick, and then salutation. Let's try it again, slower, a little closer, more details. See what you can see. Not bad. Did you notice a couple things? The yoke punch, smothers downward, palm leading, palm side leading, and crosses very slightly the right hand. And what that is if someone had grabbed me, that's a takeoff, okay? When it hits, it's almost vertical, and then this hand, again, it doesn't cross it, but goes parallel, and again, had I been grabbed here, you could use it to take the hand off, right? We'll go into applications a little later. Then hit, so I turn from this partner, or this opponent, to this opponent, and then back. But in both cases, I led with a hand, not with my nose. So from here, hands leading, and rather than cock this, the cocking action is just as you go through the motion. Everything else same as number one. So number one's a structure on which you're building.
First punch, this way.
All right?
Good. All right. Good. Third, only one or two new things are introduced, and they're all about covering behind you. So in Shaolin style, the whole family of Shaolin, there's a lot of stuff on a straight line, because if you can pivot 180 degrees to defend yourself, that's basically all there is. You don't want to go beyond, you should go the other way. So if I'm over here and you guys this way, I shouldn't go the long way to get to them, I should go the short way. But anyway, first motion is the same. Then it has an uppercut or a smother. Now all you're doing here is this and punching. So what happens is, I'm like this, starting number three, and I'm going to bring that hand all the way to here. Notice the position. This is very important because this is the first time you're doing really inside technique. So if we're here, he punches me, I'm doing that. Which if you know anything about infighting, you realize it's essential that you get that kind of motion. So what you're doing is you're rolling to get power from close quarters. So that's what this is about. It isn't as the form might have it. A good example, if you're too slaves to the form, you never do anything. If I try to go, see, good. So, good, Travis. But if I break the power a little, see, he already wants to give, I should it just springs forward. You actually want that spring action. He's behind me in this case. I've hit this guy, and so this is important. What I'm doing here is I'm leading with the fist, okay, and then hitting, right? Not leading with the body. So people misunderstand it. They think you always lead with the body, even at low training levels. Well, that's good. You should put your foot down and you turn. But look at this. I'm leading with this before I even move my feet, right? So in practical fighting, there are three levels. There's a level of, step and then hit. There's a level of step and hit, and there's a level of start to hit and step, right? A good style will mix all three, even at a pretty low level, though it won't emphasize number three because it's hard. But actually, number three is about fighting two guys from the back, just like the three that you would. So, first one. Okay, another way approach. I'm going to hook at you, you block it with your left. So from here, good. Block over to your left, punch me to your right, this way. Okay? Block over to your left, punch me to your right, this way. Let me see, top it off. Okay. Grab me with your left. grab me with your left punch. Go me the right punch with your left. Good, yeah. Change my timing. Oh, it's a big hooking punch. So I can stay on this side.